Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to tell you might be the one thing that changes the entire course of your life. Right now, you're sitting there, lost in a world where you scroll, you compare, you wonder why others seem to know exactly what they want, while you feel like you're drifting. That pain you feel, that emptiness, that's your soul screaming at you to wake up. Passion is not something that magically appears in your lap. It's forged. It's carved out of suffering, out of trial, out of obsession. Too many people wait for passion like it's a lightning strike, when in reality it's a fire you build with your bare hands. The truth is, you don't find your passion by thinking. You find it by doing, by moving, by failing, by getting back up again and again until one thing makes your chest burn like fire and your mind forget the concept of time. That's when you've found it. Stop asking permission to live, stop waiting for clarity, and start chasing. The things that scare you, excite you, and demand your focus, your passion will not whisper. It will roar the moment you give it the chance to exist. Passion is built, not found. It comes through action, not waiting. Too many people are sitting around hoping that one day something will fall out of the sky and ignite their soul. They think passion is like some divine spark waiting to bless them. But that's not how life works. Life doesn't hand you passion as a gift. Life gives you struggle. Life gives you resistance. Life gives you pain. And in that furnace of experience, you either crumble or you build. Passion is the result of choosing to take action when others are paralyzed by doubt. It's born in the moments when you try, when you fail, when you get back up and try again. Every single person who seems unstoppable today did not wake up with clarity in their heart. They created it by refusing to stand still. Think about it. The people you admire, the ones who seem to have endless drive, they weren't lucky enough to stumble across passion. They tested, they experimented, they kept moving. They threw themselves into uncomfortable situations and discovered what stirred their blood. You cannot find your purpose by waiting for signs. You find it by chasing opportunities even when you're unsure. You find it by working, sweating, sacrificing, until suddenly you realize something inside you won't let you quit. That is passion. It is not born in comfort. It is built through relentless effort. Waiting is poison. The world is full of people sitting on the sidelines, daydreaming, overthinking, telling themselves, I'll start tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and then life is gone. Do you think passion will knock on your door and say, here I am, let's begin? No. Passion only shows itself when you've earned it. You earn it by taking messy action, by stumbling forward, by doing things you're not good at until one of them sparks a fire. That fire doesn't come to the lazy. It doesn't come to the hesitant. It comes to the ones who dare to take the first step without knowing where the road will end. The greatest tragedy is that people confuse passion with excitement. They watch a movie, listen to a song, or hear a speech and feel a rush of energy. They call that passion. But passion is not that temporary spark. It is the fire that keeps burning long after the excitement fades. It's what makes you show up when you're tired, when you're doubted, when nobody claps for you. Passion is sustained effort, not fleeting inspiration. And you cannot experience that level of drive unless you put yourself in the arena and start playing the game. You have to understand something. Passion is discovered through repetition. You might start something and feel no magic at first. You might even hate it. But when you give it time, when you push past the discomfort, you begin to uncover layers you didn't know existed. Suddenly you're learning, improving, building skill, and skill breeds confidence. And confidence transforms the ordinary into something extraordinary. This is the moment where passion takes root, not in the beginning, but after you've suffered through the grind. The truth is simple. You don't wait for passion to motivate you. You move first. And passion grows because you moved. Take the gym as an example. The first time you go, it's miserable. Your muscles ache, your mind resists, you see no progress. Most people quit right there. But those who keep showing up begin to see results. They feel stronger, they look better, and suddenly the very thing that felt like torture becomes addictive. That's passion. It didn't arrive on day one. It was built through consistent action. The same applies to your career, your art, your business, your relationships. Everything worth having demands that you act first and feel passion later. You cannot think your way into passion. You cannot analyze your way into passion. You cannot sit in your room writing lists of things I love and hope one day it clicks. The only way is to engage with life. Get out there, try things, break things, fail, succeed, try again. That process reveals what your soul is hungry for. The more you move, the more you learn about yourself, and the clearer your passion becomes. And let me tell you something crucial. Passion is not a single destination. It is not one magical job or one perfect hobby. Passion evolves as you evolve. Who you are today is not who you'll be 5 years from now, and so your passion will shift with you. But you'll only discover those deeper levels if you keep moving forward. If you stay stagnant, you'll never uncover the next version of yourself. The difference between the people who live passionate lives and those who don't is brutally simple: action. The ones who win are not smarter, not luckier, not born with special gifts. They're the ones who decided to act even when they didn't feel ready, even when they were afraid. They're the ones who refused to let comfort chain them down. They understood that passion is not given. It is created through the sweat, the grind, the courage to act. So ask yourself, are you waiting or are you building? Are you hoping life hands you meaning, or are you crafting it with your own 2 hands? The clock is ticking, and every second you wait is a second wasted. Take one step today, one action. Throw yourself into the unknown. Stop waiting for certainty and start living in motion. Because in the end, passion does not belong to the dreamers who wait. It belongs to the doers who dare. Failures are the stepping stones that reveal what truly drives you. Most people fear failure like it's a death sentence. They avoid it, hide from it, and do everything possible to escape the sting of loss, embarrassment, and rejection. But in doing so, they also escape the very experiences that are designed to uncover their true passion and purpose. Failure is not the end, it is the mirror. It reflects back to you who you really are, what you really want, and what you are willing to fight for. If you have never failed, you have never truly lived. You've never tested yourself, never stretched beyond your limits, never confronted the raw edge of your own potential. Failure is not a curse. Failure is feedback. And it is through that feedback that you discover what actually sets your soul on fire. Think about it. When you fail at something, you feel pain, you feel disappointment, you feel the crushing weight of defeat. But what happens next is the real revelation. If you fail and you walk away without a second thought, that thing was never your passion. It was never what you were meant to chase. But if you fail and something inside of you screams, I can't give up on this, that's when you know. That's the spark. Failure strips away the surface level desires and exposes the hunger buried deep inside you. It forces you to answer the question, is this something you want badly enough to endure the pain of trying again? The truth is, passion without failure is an illusion. Everyone loves the idea of success, the applause, the rewards, the recognition. But passion is not proven when things are easy. Passion is proven when things collapse. When you've given your all, fallen short, and still wake up the next day ready to fight, that's passion. Failure doesn't just test your commitment, it defines it. It separates the pretenders from the obsessed. The casual dreamers will quit. The true believers will rise. You see, success is built on a mountain of failures. Every great athlete, every entrepreneur, every artist, every visionary has failed more times than most people have even tried. The difference is that they didn't interpret failure as final. They interpreted it as fuel, or they studied it, learned from it, and used it to sharpen their skills and strengthen their will. They realized that failure wasn't pushing them away from their destiny. It was guiding them toward it. Because every failure is a lesson. Every failure removes what doesn't work and points you closer to what does. Without failure, you'd never have clarity. Without failure, you'd never know where your true passion lies. But most people never experience this power because they are terrified of looking weak, terrified of judgment, terrified of losing. That fear cages them in mediocrity. They'd rather play small and safe than risk failing big. And so they never find out what they're truly capable of. But if you can shift your mindset and embrace failure as necessary, as essential, then suddenly the fear loses its power. Failure becomes your ally, your teacher, your compass. It stops being an obstacle and becomes a stepping stone to something greater. Think about the times in your life when you failed. At first, it probably felt like the end of the world. Maybe you lost a job, failed an exam, got rejected by someone you cared about, or watched a business idea crash and burn. In those moments, you felt crushed. But look closer. Didn't those failures force you to grow? Didn't they push you to rethink, re-strategize, or pursue something even better? More often than not, failure redirects us toward what actually matters. It shows us what we're willing to fight for and what we're better off leaving behind. Passion is not found in easy victories. It's found in the moments when you fall flat, wipe the dirt off your face, and still whisper to yourself, I'm not done yet. That resilience, that refusal to quit, that's how you know you've tapped into something real. Failure gives you the chance to test your desire. Because if you're willing to keep chasing something even after it's broken you, then that's no longer a hobby. That's your passion. The beauty of failure is that it humbles you and forces you to rebuild. And in that rebuilding process, you discover who you truly are. You realize you are tougher than you thought, smarter than you believed, and capable of more than you imagined. Every scar you carry from failure is proof that you've lived, that you've dared, that you've chased something bigger than comfort, and every scar whispers the same truth: this is the path worth walking. So stop running from failure. Stop treating it like the enemy. Chase it, invite it. Because the faster you fail, the faster you learn, and the faster you'll find the fire that drives you. Success is not built by avoiding mistakes. It's built by stacking failure on top of failure until those stones become the foundation of your greatness. Every failure is progress. Every failure is proof that you tried. And every failure brings you closer to the one thing that makes your soul unshakable. If you truly want to find your passion, pay attention to your failures. Pay attention to the moments that break you, yet leave you hungry for more. That hunger is the map. That hunger is your direction. Without failure, you'll never discover it. With failure, you'll not only discover it, you'll be unstoppable. Discipline and consistency ignite passion faster than raw emotion. Emotion is fleeting, it burns hot and dies fast. How many times have you felt inspired for a moment? Promised yourself you'd change your life, start a new habit, chase a new goal, only to lose steam within a week? That's because emotion is not a strategy. Emotion can get you started, but it cannot keep you moving. The ones who actually find passion, the ones who build greatness, understand that discipline and consistency are the real engines. They don't wait to feel motivated. They don't rely on inspiration. They show up every single day, whether they feel like it or not. And in that process, something incredible happens. Discipline transforms into momentum. Momentum transforms into progress, and progress transforms into passion. Passion is not some mystical force that comes from the sky. It is the natural byproduct of showing up and putting in the work over and over until it becomes part of who you are. Think about it like this. If you go to the gym only when you feel motivated, you'll barely ever go. But if you discipline yourself to train daily, even on the days you don't feel like it, eventually, you'll see your body changing, your strength increasing, and suddenly the gym becomes addictive. That spark of passion didn't exist at the beginning. It was created because discipline and consistency gave birth to results, and results made you fall in love with the process. People make the mistake of waiting for passion before they start. They think, I'll work hard when I find something I'm truly passionate about. That's backwards. You don't wait for passion to work. You work to build passion. Passion grows when you're disciplined enough to keep going long after the emotions fade. It's the discipline to wake up early, to study when you're tired, to practice when no one's watching, to show up when everyone else has quit. That's when passion begins to ignite, because you start to recognize the difference between who you used to be and who you're becoming. Consistency is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. Everyone can feel excitement for a week, but only a few can grind for years. And here's the truth. The ones who grind for years, the ones who stay consistent even through boredom, failure, and doubt, they are the ones who uncover deep passion. Why? Because consistency compounds. A little progress made daily adds up to massive transformation. And once you see that transformation, once you feel the weight of your own growth, passion erupts like wildfire. It's easy to think that passion comes first, but in reality, it comes last. It's the reward for discipline. It's the gift for consistency. Every artist who mastered their craft, every athlete who became elite, every entrepreneur who built an empire, they weren't passionate every day. They had days of doubt, days of exhaustion, days when everything in them wanted to quit, but they leaned on discipline. They relied on consistency. They kept moving, and eventually passion grew so strong it became unshakable. That's the formula, and it never fails. Ask yourself this. How many times have you started something with fire in your heart only to abandon it when the fire cooled? That's because you thought the emotion would sustain you. But true passion doesn't need to be forced. It doesn't need constant sparks because it's fueled by habit, not hype. Discipline builds those habits. Consistency locks them in. And soon, what was once a burden becomes your obsession. That's the moment you've truly found passion. It's no longer something you have to do. It's something you can't stop doing. And let me make this very clear. Passion built on discipline is far stronger than passion built on emotion. Emotion-based passion collapses when it faces resistance. Discipline-based passion thrives in resistance because it was forged in it. Or when you're disciplined, you don't panic when the feeling disappears. You don't quit when life gets hard. You keep showing up, and because of that, your passion grows deeper, stronger, and more permanent. That's why the disciplined are dangerous. They're not slaves to emotion, they're masters of consistency. The truth is, passion is like a muscle. If you only use it when you feel like it, it will stay weak. But if you train it daily through discipline, it becomes powerful. And the stronger it gets, the more it drives you. That's the cycle. Discipline builds passion, and passion fuels more discipline. Together they create unstoppable momentum. This is why some people seem to live with fire in their veins. They're not lucky, they're disciplined. They did the work long enough for passion to catch fire, and now it's consuming them in the best way possible. So stop waiting to feel like it. Stop expecting to wake up with unshakable passion one morning. Instead, commit to showing up. Commit to small, daily actions repeated consistently. Commit to doing the work when no one's cheering, when no one cares, when you don't even feel like it yourself. Because on the other side of that discipline lies the passion you've been chasing. And when it finally ignites, it will not be a weak flame. It will be a roaring fire that no one can put out. That is the secret. That is the truth most people never realize. Emotion is temporary, but discipline is eternal. Consistency is eternal. And when you live by those principles, passion will not only find you, it will consume you, it will drive you, and it will make you unstoppable. Your passion lies in what makes you lose track of time. Think about the moments in your life where hours felt like minutes when you were so immersed in what you were doing that the world outside of you seemed to disappear. That is not a coincidence. That is not an accident. That is a signal, a powerful whisper from within, pointing you toward what you are meant to pursue. Time is the greatest truth teller. When you are forcing yourself to do something you hate, every minute drags like an eternity. But when you're aligned with something that stirs your soul, time collapses and your effort feels effortless. That's passion, and it reveals itself through your attention, not through your daydreams. Most people spend their lives doing things that drain them, waiting for the weekend, counting down the hours until they're free. They confuse temporary pleasure with passion. But real passion doesn't make you look at the clock. It makes you forget the clock even exists. That's how you know it's real. It's not about escaping work. It's about being so consumed by it that it doesn't feel like work at all. Or when your mind is locked in, when the noise around you fades, when you feel alive in the process, instead of waiting for the end, you've stumbled upon the very core of your passion. This is why you must pay attention to where your focus naturally flows. Too often people ignore their instincts, dismiss their curiosities, and bury their interests because they don't seem practical, or because society tells them to chase something safe. But passion does not live in the safe zone. Passion is found in the things you can't pull yourself away from. Even when there's no reward, no applause, no money, it's the thing you do for free. The thing you do even if no one knew about it. That's why time is such an important measure. because when you lose track of it, it means you're connected with something beyond surface level motivation. The danger is that most people never give themselves the chance to notice these moments. They drown their lives in distractions, numbing themselves with endless scrolling, empty entertainment, or meaningless routines. They silence the very signals that would reveal their passion. You cannot discover what makes you lose track of time if you never give yourself the space to get lost. You must try, explore, experiment, and allow yourself to dive into different pursuits without the constant pressure of instant results. Passion reveals itself in practice, not in theory. Look back at your own life. When were the times you felt most alive? Maybe it was when you were writing. Maybe when you were building. Maybe when you were helping others. Maybe when you were competing. Maybe when you were creating. Those moments weren't random. They were glimpses into your passion. The problem is that most people dismiss them. They say, that's just a hobby. Or that can't be a career. But here's the truth. Many of the world's greatest successes began as simple hobbies that people couldn't walk away from. They lost track of time doing them. And over years of consistency, that passion became skill, and that skill became mastery. That's how greatness is born. You cannot fake passion. You can force discipline. You can grind through things you dislike. But true passion is self-fueling. When you lose track of time, it means you've tapped into an infinite energy source. That is what separates passion from obligation. Obligation drains you. Passion fuels you. Obligation makes you look at the clock. Passion makes you forget it exists. Obligation is about finishing. Passion is about immersing. If you want to live a life that feels alive, you must chase the things that pull you in so deeply that time becomes irrelevant. And understand this, passion does not always feel glamorous in the moment. Sometimes it's hard work, sometimes it's exhausting, sometimes it's lonely. But even in the difficulty, you find yourself coming back because something inside you cannot let it go. That is the test. Passion isn't always about joy. It's about attachment. It's about the gravitational pull that keeps dragging you back in no matter how many times you get tired. You lose track of time not because it's always easy, but because it's meaningful. And meaning is what sustains you when everything else falls apart. The tragedy is that most people ignore this signal and chase money instead. They trade their time for a paycheck, convincing themselves it's the practical path, but deep down they feel hollow. Money can buy comfort, but it can never buy passion. And what you lose in passion, you pay for with regret. Years slip away, and suddenly people realize they never gave themselves permission to pursue what truly made them come alive. Don't let that be you. Don't ignore the activities, the projects, the work that erases time for you. That's your compass. That's the universe giving you direction. The question is, will you listen? Will you trust the pull? Will you honor the moments when time disappears? Or will you keep silencing them with excuses? If you want to find your passion, stop asking, what should I do? And start asking, what makes me forget time exists? Because the answer to that question is where your future lies. It won't always be obvious, it won't always be easy, and it won't always be approved by others, but it will be real. And real passion is worth more than anything else you could chase. So start paying attention. Notice where your focus goes naturally. Notice what makes you forget to eat, forget to sleep, forget to check your phone. Notice what you can't walk away from even when it's hard. That is where your passion lives. And once you find it, commit to it with everything you have. Because when you live in that space, when you build your life around the things that make time disappear, you are no longer just surviving, you are truly alive. Stop seeking approval. Live boldly and create your own path. From the time we are children, we are conditioned to crave validation. We're taught to please our parents, our teachers, our friends, and eventually society at large. We are told to follow the rules, fit in, do what's expected, and color inside the lines. And so, we grow up wearing masks, hiding our real selves, silencing our own voices, and chasing lives that were never truly ours. But let me tell you this, the greatest prison in the world is the fear of other people's opinions. The moment you stop seeking approval, the moment you stop waiting for applause, you finally free yourself to live boldly. That is where your true path begins. Approval is a trap because it makes you live by someone else's standards. It forces you to measure your worth by their expectations, and no matter how hard you try, you'll never satisfy everyone. There will always be critics, doubters, and people who think they know what's best for you. If you live for their approval, you will die under their judgment. The harsh truth is that most people don't even know what they want for themselves, so why let them dictate your life? Stop handing over the steering wheel of your destiny to people who don't even know where they're going. Your path is yours to create, and it cannot be discovered by asking for permission. Living boldly doesn't mean being reckless. It means daring to be authentic. It means showing up as yourself, unapologetically, without watering down your dreams to make others comfortable. Boldness is having the courage to say, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is the life I choose. The world is filled with people who settle, who dim their light, who bury their potential just to fit in. But fitting in has never created greatness. Every trailblazer, every visionary, every legend was once labeled crazy, reckless, unrealistic. They were mocked, doubted, and resisted until they proved the world wrong. They didn't wait for approval. They didn't ask for permission. They simply walked their path with conviction. And eventually the same people who doubted them became the ones cheering for them. Approval is temporary. People will applaud you today and tear you down tomorrow. If your sense of worth depends on their validation, you will live on a roller coaster of insecurity. But when you root yourself in your own vision, when you build your path with your own hands, their opinions lose power over you. Boldness is independence. It's the strength to keep going when no one believes in you. The faith to trust your inner voice when the crowd tells you to quit. Living boldly means replacing the need for applause with the hunger for authenticity. Your path is not meant to be a copy of anyone else's. It is unique and only you can walk it. Yet so many people waste their lives chasing someone else's definition of success. They go to school for degrees they don't care about, work jobs they hate, buy things they don't need, all to impress people whose opinions won't even matter 5 years from now. That is not living. That is existing in chains. To truly live, you must be willing to step off the beaten path and carve your own, even if you walk alone for a while. The loneliness of walking your own path is nothing compared to the emptiness of living a life that doesn't belong to you. The truth is, the world respects those who respect themselves. When you stop begging for approval and start living boldly, people take notice. Some will criticize you, yes, but others will be inspired. You don't create change by blending in. You create it by standing out. Your courage to be different gives others permission to be themselves. That's the ripple effect of bold living. It not only transforms your life, it empowers others to rise as well. But make no mistake, living boldly requires sacrifice. It means letting go of the comfort of being liked by everyone. It means facing rejection, ridicule, and doubt. It means being misunderstood, but every sacrifice is worth it because what you gain is priceless. Freedom. The freedom to be yourself, to pursue what matters to you, to wake up every day and know you are living life on your terms, not someone else's script. And freedom is the soil where passion and purpose grow. Stop seeking approval. Stop waiting for someone to clap for you before you take the first step. Stop giving power to people who secretly wish they had the courage to do what you're afraid of doing. Your path is yours. And if you don't create it, you'll spend your life walking down roads that lead nowhere. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs the raw, unfiltered, unapologetic version of you. That's where your impact lies. That's where your greatness lies. And that's where fulfillment lives. So be bold. Speak the truth, even if your voice shakes. Take the leap, even if your legs tremble. Create the life you dream of, even if no one believes in it but you. Because the only approval you will ever truly need is your own, and the day you stop seeking it from others and start giving it to yourself, that's the day you begin to live. And so, here's the truth you need to carry with you. Life is short, brutally short, and every second you waste living for someone else's approval, waiting for the perfect moment, or hiding from failure is a second you will never get back. Passion is not handed to you. It's built through action, through discipline, through consistency, through falling and rising, through doing the things that make you forget the clock even exists. It's not about being liked. It's about being alive. You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out. You are not here to play small. You are here to carve a path that no one else could ever walk because it belongs only to you. Stop waiting. Stop doubting. Stop asking permission. The world does not reward the hesitant. It rewards the bold, the relentless, the ones who dare to live on fire. So take your first step, no matter how uncertain, no matter how scary. And when you fall, and you will, rise stronger, rise hungrier, rise unstoppable. Build your passion. Live with discipline. Embrace your failures and trust the fire inside you. Because when you do, nothing in this world can ever silence you.